So Amy, you have just finished your 100k walk for Women² Tasmania, and we have just right now, as we're beginning this recording, received a text from Bec Lunnon, who was in your team, to say that you've just reached $4,000.
Yeah. I'm so delighted. While the commitment is to raise 1,000, what became abundantly clear was that lots of people were willing to donate, and we kept hitting the milestone and increasing the limit. And I think today when I saw that it was 3,820, it was like, I need to get 4,000. I do. So it's been beyond what we imagined and very humbling.
That's gorgeous. So, wow, you've done 100Ks. Tell me about your walking experience.
The way that I did it was I walk my dog every day because she's very active and needs to burn off energy. So I already walked with her. What I think I noticed when I started doing the walk, and I was going to incorporate this into doing that, but it was actually, how could I do this differently than just doing it the same way that I've done it every other day? So it was with a specific intention and purpose. It gave me the opportunity to start inquiring, a bigger inquiry, particularly around what it is to be a woman. And the reason that I chose Women² Tasmania was because I'd seen on Facebook that Ella Hadid, who's a local Labor MP, was collecting donations for the women in prison, which was something that she was doing on behalf of Women² Tasmania. Things like sanitary items and muesli bars and care packs. And I thought, what a beautiful initiative. There are people who are taking care of women who largely neglected. They don't have anything. And to have someone on the outside who's caring. So I thought, any organisation that does that, that's good. And I looked at the website and saw the work that they did. It really connected me to those women who aren't as privileged or have access to all of the things that we take for granted. Doing the walk really connected me with those women and have a much deeper appreciation of the struggle that they have, and to be able to just make some small contribution to that, to anyone who's going to facilitate that work. And I think the other thing too that it gave me was I had an altercation with my son and reacted in a way that was highly reactive. What I knew was that I had to go and walk, which is a good sign for me when I get a bit triggered. It helps me re-ground myself and time to consider what's happened. I started walking and was feeling charged, and I then caught myself and said, remember, why are you walking? I'm walking for these women, whether they're in prison or whether they're from minority immigrant groups or wherever they're from. It gave me the opportunity to connect back into that. Just by doing that, it seemed to invite me to let go of small stuff and help me take responsibility for my part in that. So the inquiry while I was walking was richer because of what I was intentionally walking for. And I also think it's been lovely to look at the forming of community, connecting in with people I ordinarily wouldn't, and having the conversation with people when they ask why you're walking. So there's an education part of it, mostly educating myself, really.
I absolutely agree. I think that's been a richness that's come out of the community that was a unintended. Building community was always intended, but a community's building itself is just delightful. It's so delightful. Every single woman who comes in to walk is bringing herself, and it's gorgeous. And then you end up with Bec as your team partner.
Yeah, we've both done it really differently. I felt so supportive of her. I think that probably in my life there are times when women who seem to be doing extraordinary things, I would have a sense of envy, or I'd feel slightly intimidated. That wasn't there at all. It was, oh my gosh, what an extraordinary thing to do. And I imagine that for her too, knowing that she had a community of people supporting her must have been useful in her incredibly harrowing walk. The moments when she wanted to give up and she didn't. So I think that was delightful to see the contribution that this makes in a way that I couldn't have imagined.
For people who don't know, Bec walked from the middle of Tasmania, a place called Scott's Peak Dam, and a 115 walk in 36 hours non-stop straight. She's written an amazing blog about it, Rock Monkey. Well worth looking at. Also worth looking at her reels on the 100 Women² Instagram, Facebook. An extraordinary walk. But as you said, you did it really differently, which is cool. You know, we've had a woman walking, doing some Ks around a laundromat car park. And now, Mum, my 86-year-old mother, has decided to walk. So, Ames, I'm an inquiry about what this is doing to us on a deeper level. I can see it happening with every woman. There's a deepening and a quietening, a rising of a strength at the same time. I've seen that in you. Okay. So what's that I can sense?
That's interesting. Now that you articulate it, that's true. And I probably haven't given any thought to it because I don't think it's in my head. I don't think it's a thinking thing.
Right.
I think it's probably
a being.
Yeah, it's more of a
being thing, which is even beyond feeling.
Yeah.
A being thing.
Yeah, it's a being. And as you said, it's a quietening. On another level, what I got was the gift of walking, the gift of being in nature specifically. It already is important to me in my life, but I think it's just dropped to another layer of deep gratitude and deep appreciation for the fact that my body is working the way that it's working. It's enabling me to walk. I've been really grateful for my body and feeling strong. I can feel the muscles in my legs. I think it's that deeper connecting with my body and gratitude for that, and also with nature, the gift that it keeps giving without any expectation of anything in return. And by virtue of that, all you want to do is to give back to it. I have a tree that I walk past every day. I always wrap my arms around and express gratitude for the strength of it, for cleaning the air and keeping our planet as healthy as it can be, for the home that it gives to all the creatures, and under the ground what it does, the magic that happens. So I'm really in gratitude for it. What I noticed on the walk is that every time I go to the tree, and what I just got really strongly doing the walk was, I'm not doing this for me, I'm here to give something to the tree. It's changed my relationship with the tree. Oh my God, do I ever sound like a whack job?
No, I think on the contrary, you sound like a big tree.
Yeah.
We walk past that same tree now, and it's now become Amy's tree.
Yeah.
And, this is Amy's tree. We say hi to Amy's tree. So I might sound like a whack job too. But, no, big tree, which is a metaphor that we've spoken about a lot in life. So, sweetheart, I know that for some women, the fundraising, asking for money is hard. Now I quite enjoy it. I noticed in you a reconnection with that space of asking for money, but this time from a place of joy. Once upon a time it would have been embarrassment and shame and a bit cringe and but this time I saw you do it with just joy. So do you mind telling me a bit about that?
Yeah, you're right. I think in the past it would have always been slightly embarrassing or something, but it was so easy to do because it wasn't for me, it was for something beyond me. A woman and helping women, which is the whole point of 100 Women². So there was an ease to it, and I wasn't attached to getting money at all.
Right.
And I'm hitting people hard. I'm being kind of bold. And here's why. I think that there's fatigue to keep giving money to charities. And I get that, and I think at the moment so many of us feel completely helpless. How do we contribute? How do we not feel so paralysed by our inability to change things? Because shit's got to change. Because it was something that I was able to articulate. Why? Women can't get sanitary items, or they're in prison and don't have access to that and no one can afford to pay for them, all that sort of thing. But why wouldn't you want to support someone who's in need like that? So I think while I appreciate that people are doing what they can, I also think that we are incredibly fortunate, and such a small amount can cumulatively make a really big impact. Also, if you can't donate, that's fine, I respect that, and if you share it, if that's the very least that you can do. So it was easy to ask, and I was quite bold in my approach and strategic, but that was kind of fun.
So what does bold sound like?
It was like, okay, so now I'm hitting you hard for a donation. I'm going to use everything at my disposal, including guilt you into contributing something. And then I put afterwards joke, in brackets, but not really. So it was to my family. It wouldn't be to everyone. It's been interesting seeing where the money has come from, unexpected places. So particularly my husband's business partner contributed a significant amount. And that was totally unexpected. It was because of the experience he'd had with a woman who was in need of support. I think that's been beautiful, seeing where it's come from.
And the business name?
The business name? Channel Construction.
Fabulous. So here we are, 100 Women². You've been with me right from the very, very beginning, all of the stories, all of the dreaming, all of the workshop models with me in the garage. Thank you for that, and thank you for being one of the early walkers. Thank you for caring for Bec so beautifully. Thank you for educating me about Women's Health Tasmania. Thank you for educating me about women who need sanitary products. Thank you for caring for yourself. Thank you for walking for 100 Women².
Well, thank you. Thank you for allowing me and inviting me to be part of the walking journey. It's been wonderful.